Greetings Star Wars fans and YouTubers, I'm back. A few weeks ago I made a video asking who we are as Star Wars fans and is Hasbro out of touch with us. That video has gotten a lot of response. A lot of people put their 2 cents worth in. Several video responses as well. And I've tried to make a follow-up video, but I just get lost in all the points I've made. So I have made an outline. I'm hoping to hold this outline and make the second part of this video asking what we want as Star Wars fans. Now, first of all, I've been reviewing for 3 years, and I've talked with Star Wars collectors throughout the world, and asking Hasbro what we want is probably just as complicated a question as asking who we are. But I think it is fair to make some generalizations. Alright, first of all, main figures, or Star Wars figures in general, are kind of like commodities on the commodities market. If you don't know what commodities are, they're a little bit like the stock market. Basically, it's the rule of supply and demand. You know, if you just say, for instance, bad weather hits the tropical regions of the world one year, orange juice and other things like that are going to be higher price. Or like, let's say, beef or pork commodities are hit with a disease or something, a lot of cattle dies off, beef and pork are going to be higher price. Simply supply and demand. Star Wars figures are a little bit that way on eBay. I think Hasbro's out of touch with this because either they realize this and they don't care, or they don't realize this at all. You know, I've noticed a few figures. A lot of you told me the Gamorrean Guard is really high priced in Europe and hard to get. Wedge Antilles and Bassman Han Solo are very hard to get as well. You know, I've noticed prices on these guys. We all have, especially with Wedge, up to 40, 50 bucks on eBay. Now, you know, if some of the main people in Hasbro, when they release different waves out, would just look at this number and say, you know, people are asking $50 for Wedge Antilles figures. I'll bet they'd pay $10 for that figure. Let's put one out in the next wave and see how well we can sell that wave. You know, they just don't look at it like commodities, but in a way it is, especially when they make really popular figures hard to get. And another thing, they do go overboard in some other parts of the spectrum as well. I've mentioned before, there's some main figures we all have far more than enough of. And they'll repackage these figures, and you know, a lot of times, like if you watch my reviews, you'll notice a lot of battle packs and multi-packs especially. I'll mention, you know, this is a great pack for anyone starting out with their collection. You know, they've got Vader, you know, they got like Jedi Luke, you know, R2 and 3PO, the core figures we all have. And I'm like, if anyone's just starting out the collection, this is great, because these are the core figures. But I say that a lot. And I think doing that with Hasbro kind of prevents their core repeat audience from getting like a lot of multi-packs and battle packs. You know, Darth Vader's a prime example of this. Everybody loves Darth Vader, but they've made like 8 zillion Darth Vaders. You know, I've got several myself. You know, a lot of action figure sets from Hasbro, or, you know, battle packs or whatever. I can even remember back from the 30th anniversary, like, I love the Moff Tersha battle pack. That's a 30th anniversary comic pack, by the way. Moff Tersha and Darth Vader. I loved him. I'm like, man, that's a cool figure. I'd like to get him. But I don't want to pay 17 bucks and get the Vader with it, because I already have several Vaders. And I think that happens. Although, you know, Hasbro makes things for their core, for new collectors, they kind of drive off their core collectors with too much repeat. And even another end of that spectrum is some core figures, they don't make that much. I mentioned repeatedly Episode 4 Leia with the hair buns. You know, they made her once in 8 years. She should be a very core figure that everyone has. Once in 8 years. Some of the bounty hunters may be that way as well. And, you know, the Cantina aliens. You know, let's see, there's Bassman Leia, there's Leia with the hair buns. I would say maybe Greedo. I've noticed Greedo has gotten a higher price on eBay, even though Saga Legends Greedo recently. You know, it's just like they concentrate on some core figures, but they completely miss others, which makes no sense to me. Okay, let's see. That's too many repeat. And I believe they are out of touch with marketing. One core thing is the Phantom Menace figures. Now, I'll just tell you straight out, I hate the Phantom Menace as a collector. In fact, the Phantom Menace is probably one reason why I don't do the prequels or the Clone Wars that much, because I associate it with the Phantom Menace. That's really bad. I'm going to take some heat for saying that, but that's true. I really hate Jar Jar. I hate the bad acting in episode 1. I like Count Dooku though, excuse me. You know, I think he did some great acting, but it's just, you know, it's kind of like if someone doesn't like to eat broccoli. You can make broccoli in different ways, you know, broil it and put, you know, melted cheese on it and stuff, but still, if they don't like broccoli, they're not going to eat it. A lot of us are that way with the Phantom Menace. In fact, every store I go to has just only Phantom Menace figures. That's all they have. I'm sure they've gotten some other figures with those, but the Phantom Menace figures seem to sit there. Another group that seems to sit there is the movie heroes. You know, I was waiting for some, you know, commodity. Everyone liked the Vintage Collection when it came out. Everyone liked the concept, and a lot of the key figures they grabbed up. But these galactic heroes, or excuse me, movie heroes figures, they're just sitting there as well. I know some people have bought them. But actually, I was talking to the Budget Jedi about these figures, and I seriously thought when I was talking to him, what they were repacks with old figures. I'm like, you know, it's strange with these new figures. Are they repacking Power of the Jedi again? Because that's what they look like to me. You know, they're unarticulate. They're just very bad. They're a very bad line. They're sitting there as well. They try to force stuff on us that we don't want to buy, and they'll keep stuff from us that we want. I think, you know, Hasbro has some problems there as well. Let's see. Daniel Lease 1000 definitely follows the, you know, he's a fellow collector of mine. He's made video responses to some of my videos. He definitely follows the Clone Wars and prequels far more closely than I do. I'm sorry for being biased about the prequels. I am. You know, Christopher Lee is a great actor. I'll say that out of them. But, you know, he's promised to make video responses to my videos, and maybe he has more to say about the prequel figures and the Clone Wars than I do, because I really don't follow that line that well. So I'm hoping he makes a video response to this, and maybe he talks about some figures there. Let's see. And I've been told there's problems with different countries as well. A lot of you say in the UK, you've got limited amounts of stores that they sell vintage figures at. And I didn't realize that. You see, in America, I live in Alaska, but, you know, one of my main problems, we have a lot of stores, but they don't have what people want. They've got, you know, they've got the Phantom Menace figures. They're not getting the new waves in. You know, I've got a variety of stores. If they got the stuff in, I could probably pick it up. But they're just not getting the stuff in America. You know, I've been told the situation is different in the UK. Another situation I've been told about is continental Europe. Some vintage figures are going for 25 bucks. I realize taxes are higher. I've actually been to Italy, and, you know, I've had friends who've been to France and continental Europe. I've been told in Sweden as well, Sweden and Norway, your taxes are high, and it's making figures like $25 a piece. To where in the States they're like 8, 9, 10, 11 bucks. So I realize you're just getting screwed over in Europe with the prices. And distribution as well. Distribution is different in every country. I've gotten responses from the UK and a little bit on Australia, but if, you know, I've gotten, you know, people who live in Sweden and Norway and France. If you want to make video responses to me and tell me about your regional problems, I'm more than welcome to hear them. But anyway, I'm asking what we want as collectors. I'm mainly an army builder guy. You know that. Everybody watches my videos. They know, you know, I just like repeat members of the Empire. Although I have expanded out recently to different types of figures. But I want you to tell me what you want as a collector. And tell me if you're a new collector or an experienced collector. I've even gotten some people, you know, involved. They used to collect in maybe Power of the Force 2 or back in Kenner's day. But my videos or maybe some other videos on YouTube has encouraged them to collect again. So, you know, maybe you are starting out, but you're already an experienced collector from before. Or maybe you've got older 4 figures and you're getting the newer ones. You know, I don't know. Tell me what you want as a collector and where you stand as a collector as well. If you're a big collector, if you have everything, if you're the occasional collector, you know, you go to the store, maybe you pick up a figure when you see it, you know, do you order waves from Entertainment Earth or directly from Hasbro? Just tell me who you are as a collector. I think it'll help, you know, help us understand the collecting community on YouTube a little bit more if you do that. But anyway, I hope I addressed all these points properly in this video. And I am sorry about the delay on this video, right? But, please tell me what you want as a collector, and this is the second part of maybe a 3-part, or maybe more than 3-part series of is Hasbro out of touch with our customer base. Anyway, this is Supreme signing out, and as always, thank you for tuning in.